Why most testosterone supplements don't work. So you're probably trying to boost your testosterone levels naturally. And the first thing that came to your mind is, let me try this supplement. Let me try this testosterone booster, which I seen on a YouTube video or I seen this influencer recommend, right? And you're really considering it because you have low testosterone levels. And you understand that by increasing your testosterone levels, you're going to be more driven, more motivated, energized. You're going to have mental clarity. You're going to be calm. You're just going to be that grounded individual. You're going to build muscle faster, drop fat faster. You're going to be stronger and overall be a better individual, because you understand as a man, you need to have optimal testosterone levels to succeed and accomplish your goals. So you understand how important testosterone is. And the first thing that came into your mind is, let me go with a testosterone booster. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why most testosterone supplements don't really work. Because you need to understand, first of all, how testosterone is actually produced. So first things first, testosterone is produced in your testicles in specific cells called Leydig cells. And it's happening during your REM sleep. This is the deepest sleep when you're sleeping, right? The longer you sleep, the longer your REM cycles become, and thus you will have more testosterone. There's been studies out there showing that men who sleep 8 hours per night have 200% more testosterone than individuals who sleep 4 hours per night. But let's just say you take an individual who sleeps 8 hours non-stop versus an individual who sleeps 8 hours but wakes up in the middle of the night to pee or whatever it is. The guy that he sleeps throughout has more testosterone, because every time you wake up you break the cycles, because the longer you sleep, the longer the cycles become, right? So that being said, you need to optimize those things, right? But let's get into supplements and how the pathway of production of testosterone. So you have thyroid hormones, then it goes like T3, T4, then you have vitamin A, then you have cholesterol, pregnenolone, progesterone, DHEA, so on and so forth, until you have testosterone. Then it can get converted into estrogen through a process called aromatization, especially if you have excess body fat, or to DHT by the 5-OA receptor, right? Enzyme, my bad. So then you have the pathway, right? So how is a supplement which focuses only on your testosterone meant to improve how you feel, your health, your immunity, blood flow, so on and so forth? The reason why men with high testosterone have amazing benefits and overall feel better, so on and so forth, is because they optimized all aspects, right? So you need to all around optimize everything. So in these testosterone boosters, when you actually look at the label, they have different types of supplements. You have vitamins, minerals, amino acids, adaptogens, herbs, nootropics. For vitamins, you can have water soluble or fat soluble. So like for water soluble, you can have vitamin B, different types of B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, like niacinamide, niacin, things like that. Then you have vitamin C, and I like to say choline as well, used to be known as vitamin J. Then you have things like fat soluble vitamins, like vitamin A, D, E, and K, right? Then you have minerals, so you have your electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Then you have your micro minerals like zinc, copper, iodine. Then you have amino acids like L-tryptophan, leucine, L-arginine, L-citrulline, things like that. Then you have adaptogens like ashwagandha, for instance. Adaptogens bring your body to homeostasis in times of stress. Then you have different types of herbs. Then you have nootropics, things like caffeine, piracetam, or even nicotine. But the question you want to ask yourself is, why do you have low testosterone? Okay? Let's just say you take someone from 2000 years ago. Men back then had high testosterone levels. And let's say this guy has 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, right? which considered back then is actually considered low. They would have way more testosterone. But let's say he has 1,000 to make the math simple. And you go up to this individual and you tell him, I want you to accomplish 400 nanograms per deciliter. What do you think he's going to do first? He's going to have more plastics in his life. He's going to sleep less. He's going to overtrain. He's going to add stressors. He's going to undereat. He's going to do all these things that you are probably doing on a daily basis. And I can already hear it. Yeah, but what about age? I'm 30, 40, 50 years old. Age, this is why my testosterone is low. There's studies out there showing that men age 70 have the same testosterone levels at 17-year-olds. And these 70-year-olds were in rural areas. That comes to show that it's not your age, but your lifestyle choices. So going back to the example, the guy does all those things and he has 400 nanograms per deciliter, right? He's experiencing all these low testosterone symptoms. And then you go back to him and you ask him, I want you to get back to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. Do you think he's going to start taking some supplement or doing some weird tactics and sunning his balls and doing all these posture things? No. What he's going to do is remove all the blockers, the things that block the testosterone production. So why are you, knowing this, adding things into your lifestyle? It's not going to benefit you anyway. It can actually damage you. I've had clients which followed these protocols that some gurus preach about taking supplements because he was a swimmer, right? So he's like, oh, I'm a swimmer, the water is full of fluoride, and fluoride is replaces your iodine, so my iodine is low, so I'm going to start supplementing with iodine. He started doing that, and now he has neural damage, and that could be a lifetime thing. So you have to be careful with these things. It's not a joke, right? So ask yourself, why do you have low testosterone, and remove those things. Use the NTLS method with righteous foundations to troubleshoot your routine. What do I mean by righteous foundations? So if you go to my website and you go here in the about page and we read Matthew 7:24-27, therefore whosoever hear these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and it beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that hear these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and it beat upon the house, and it fell, and the great was the fall of it. If you have the wrong foundations, forget about optimizing your testosterone levels. Because testosterone is just going to enhance your current state. If you're very lustful, greedy, prideful, you're very lazy and things like that, it's just going to enhance your state. So you need to understand what the 7 deadly sins are. Because I've been doing this for a while, and I've helped guys boost their testosterone levels naturally, but it was a mistake of mine, because I was like, why are these guys very lustful? They have no integrity. They just have no... There's something wrong about them. Why are they? I thought when you have high testosterone, you're going to be that masculine man. People want to look up to you. But no, that's not the case. It's quite the opposite, to be honest. So you need the right foundations. When you look at the Old Testament and you look at the book of Moses, I like to use that as an example. It was basically when Moses went up the mountain to get the 10 Commandments, and the Israelites, in the span, I don't know how long it was, a few hours, they rejected God and started having orgies and worshipping different idols. And you would think to yourself, why? How did they manage to do that so quickly? Because back then, people were more animalistic, you can say, in a way, but they had more higher testosterone levels. Like, if you've never experienced high testosterone levels naturally, it's a different game. Like, your sex drive is through the roof. If I didn't have the right foundations, I would be sleeping around like a madman. But I don't, because I have foundations, I have guidance from God, which I need to follow. So when you have high testosterone levels, you need the right guidance, because it's going to destroy you as a man. So that being said, you need the righteous foundations. And you need the right discernment, because when you study the Bible, you have discernment to take on the world. You're like the light, like a flashlight. Let me give you this. Let's say I tell you, you need to stop eating oats because oats contain beta glucan, which has been shown in studies to lower cholesterol levels. And you know that cholesterol is needed for the production of testosterone. So now you have knowledge and understanding that when you go to a shop, you shouldn't eat oats. That's called discernment. So now you have discernment not to buy these things when you go to the shop. Just like with the Bible, when you read the Bible, now you have discernment to judge righteously. Judgment is not wrong. I see a lot of guys saying, oh, you're a Christian, you shouldn't be judging. It is said in the Bible, judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is judgment which is done righteously, right? When you see someone doing something wrong, you're going to correct them because you love that person. You want to see them the good. So it's righteous judgment. Like it is said in John, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word spelled with a capital W, which means Christ, Jesus Christ. And the name Jesus, J, in the Old Testament, Jehovah, and Jesus means saves. Jehovah saves, God saves. That's what it means. So use the anti-LS method with righteous foundations. And in John it says, Christ was the light, and darkness comprehended it not. When you have that light like a flashlight, you have discernment to make the right judgments based on your discernment, right? So the anti-LS method. So your foundations are right. Your foundations are so that if someone pushes you, shakes you or whatever, the winds come, you're steady because your foundations are right. God is like the rock which the righteous flee to, you know. So nutrition, training, lifestyle, and supplementation. So with nutrition, my voice is gone. With nutrition, you need to look at, are you eating the right foods? Are you eating the right caloric intake, macronutrient intake? Removing the blockers. Analyze that. Training. Are you optimizing your androgen receptors? Are you training properly? Recovery, so on and so forth. Lifestyle, your sleep, stress, stimulus, so on and so forth. Supplementation, fixing your micronutrient deficiencies. So you have to look at all these aspects and judge based on this. In Hosea 4:6 we have, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. So basically, I'm giving you this knowledge, and you need to have right knowledge when it comes to, you are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because you're going to take these supplements and they're going to even mess you up furthermore. True measure of knowledge is experiment. I have it here on my Instagram. True measure of knowledge is experiment. What gets measured gets managed and thus accomplished, right? So you need to measure everything. You need to analyze. You need to ask yourself, why do you have low testosterone levels? And then at the end, as the icing on the cake, you can play around with cool supplements. Like I like using some nootropics sometimes, specific amino acids, like L-citrulline before a workout, glycine before I go to sleep, some minerals, vitamins like niacinamide, vitamin B3, which is also known, helps with energy. But that's the last thing you want to focus on. You need to have your foundations. You need to know what you're doing. You want to have a predictable way to accomplish high testosterone levels naturally. And that's the way you want to do it. So that being said, this was the video on why most testosterone supplements don't work. Because you're not focusing on the things that actually lower your testosterone levels. And that being said, hopefully you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you later. Peace.